This Sunday. Every Sunday. Side by side at the microphone, from the green light to the speed trap, Chris Switzer and Ray Garino calls them as they sees them, and you better believe them. Here! Relevant news, biased opinions, and outright bullshit regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gasp at mechanical trickery never before revealed over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrill to the explosive tension as Chris and Ray cuss each other down the track and barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands for the devil. All that and much more this Sunday at high noon on the Motormouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and live feed, Chris Switzer and Ray Garino. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free. Every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Long Island Expressway to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the sign saying no parking on the expressway and no express service on the parkway. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Sunday!
Won't me believe, why can't you be true? Won't me believe, why can't you be true? You don't start back doing the things you used to do. Well, I was motivating all over the hill.
All right, we're a little motivated too today on Motormouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive talk show, with your hosts Ray Guarino and Mr. Chris Switzer, sitting over there looking dapper as usual. We didn't know if we were going to be talking today.
Yeah, we certainly didn't.
So that's good to know. So, yeah.
Exactly. Technology was going to bite us in the butt once again.
Well, I think if there's one recurring theme on this show, to our tenure here, is that anything can happen, and it will to us.
And it usually does. It will happen to us.
It'll be us. It won't be anybody else. It will.
No. You listen to the sports guys, boy, they just get right on. They're all screaming and yelling, hooting and hollering. You never hear them have any technical difficulties whatsoever. Yeah. You know, listen to Rob's show, never a technical difficulty. Kim has no problems at all. It's the mayor has no problems. It's us. I think that's saying something.
Even the Brooklyn Buckaroo gets away unscathed.
Exactly. The Lithuanian show, all the jazz shows. I listen. I wait for some technological glitch to happen and hear nothing. Smooth sailing all the way through on this fine, upstanding radio station, except for this show.
Exactly. Well, listen, it's been our mainstay, but also our mainstay has been, how do we deal with it? And do we? Oh. And well, we've learned to adapt and overcome. And that's just what it is. So,
and laugh about it.
If you want to do what you didn't do last week, yes, I'm talking to you guys out there. You can call at 516-572-7440 or text us at.
You can text us at 203-670-4127. You'll get directly right here, right in front of these fine, upstanding images behind me. You'll be right here.
I'm glad you said that, because speaking of fine and upstanding images, I want to share something with you that happened this week that pertains to you. I got this in the mail. You know, nice.
It's not ticking, is it?
No, nice little mailer.
It doesn't say enlarger on it, does it?
No.
No.
So let me tell you something. You may remember this piece of artwork.
Yes, you had that hanging proudly in your home office, in the comforts of your living room. Yes.
I bought this off of Etsy from a listener of this show, Don Cobb, and I said, gee, it needed its mate.
So you wait, the first one was just to let those that are not going to watch the show on YouTube, let them know the first one is a can of McCormick black pepper. It is a painting of that, a simple can of McCormick black pepper, the white and red can that we've seen for years. So that's the first picture. Now you have, to go along with that can of black pepper, a container of Morton salt.
Of course. So,
which we've seen for years, the little girl walking with the umbrella, pouring the salt on the ground, like we've known our whole lives, in painting form.
Don is a fan of the show. We've had some back and forth and all. He's had some car history and he's a great artist. So I made another trip around the sun recently in my lifetime. So my daughter, one of my daughters, the one at home, was graciously, she actually got me the salt and then decided I need a couple more. So what do you put salt and pepper on? But eggs and
Two,
bacon,
right? Two. What would you say?
super easy.
Those are over easy with 2 strips of bacon.
Actually, those are sunny side up.
Those sunny side.
And
Okay.
where's the
I
best?
get mine scrambled, and that's all I get.
Right. And where's the best place to get stuff like that? It would be
At
at,
the Waffle House.
yeah.
You got a painting of the Waffle House with 4 crows on the roof.
Since when my daughter interacted, Don picked up on it. He recognized her last name being the same as mine and say, "Hey, has your dad bought for me before?" Motormouth Radio, yes. So they started a dialogue. They're talking back and forth now. And as a gift, because I bought artwork and then she bought more, he says, "This one, what is it? Can you read what that says on that label right there?"
No, I actually can't.
Okay. In handwriting, it says, "Made this art print for Chris Switzer, Don
What?
Cobb, 2025." He sent this one for you.
Louisiana hot sauce.
And it's a close up. So I will get that out in the mail to you. Compliments of Don Cobb. And of course,
That's wonderful, Don. Thank you so much. That will go proudly up on my wall in my office immediately the second it shows up.
I had put the pictures up on Instagram, but I will put them up now this week when I post this show. The highlights from the show. It's probably tomorrow. I'll put those pictures up again, and then, like Chris said, you can see this if you wish. You don't have to use social media. You can use a different form of social media, YouTube, where this show goes up today. Yes. On Motormouth Video and Motormouth Radio, both channels, and it goes up on both of them. It does better on one than the other all the time.
Still a combat. It's still a horse race.
So you can see the stuff that we talk about, and yeah, because we just like to share what we do. So that's
wonderful. Wow.
I like, you know what? I love the artwork. That's why I purchased it. But the thing I like even better is now the camaraderie and the friendship. Now, Don has gone back and forth with me on Instagram quite a lot, with things that we said. And, he has commented on the show and told me a lot of things about his past with cars, how people do when they, when you find them. So again, to find another friend, another listener is always, that's always a highlight for me, I think.
That's wonderful. Yeah. One friend at a time, one listener at a time. We've been doing that for 20 blah, blah years. And that's for sure. And it proves to work. And it really is. Automobiles are I think the great social equalizer, because everybody has a car, everybody has a car story, and we've proven that over and over again. I mean, I remember when you've had, musicians on this program, and you said to me, "We're going to bring a musician on who knows nothing about cars," and I was like, "Great, they got a car story, let's do it."
Right, exactly.
So yeah, I think that's wonderful. It is the truth, because I've talked to people and they've said, "Oh, I know nothing about cars." Well, you have a car story, right? And they're like, "Oh yeah, of course, whatever the story was, but it has nothing to do with fixing cars." I'm like, "It doesn't have to on this program. We're vast enough. We're open-minded enough to experience and take in all kinds of automotive stories of all shapes and sizes." So, and yes, and you can contribute at 516-572-7440, or like I said, got a finger, take it out of your ear, 203-670-4127. Yes, you can type and you can send.
Very good.
Yes.
So another thing I want to talk about was last week we delved a little deeply into computer diagnostics and mode 6.
Yes, and believe me, I told my wife about it, and we were both chuckling. Had to delve into something so deep into the confines of technology, into the pyramids and the tombs of technology, looking at the hieroglyphics on the walls of the mode 6. God,
I want to show you what I purchased last week.
Oh no.
Right? What is that?
That says catalytic converter.
And what is and look at that. What do they tell you right out of the box?
It says expect more.
Right. And of course it's Made in China.
Made in China.
But I
That's
did
where
find-
all quality comes from nowadays.
So I'm expecting more. So this thing came in a wrapped in this silvery bag that you
Yeah,
couldn't tell what it was,
That's so it's because that's to contain the radioactivity.
and it might be, yeah. And so this
Wow.
was Kim before came in the studio. She goes, "Is that a catalytic converter? I've never seen one."
Oh
So
my
I
gosh.
showed her.
It does say enlarger on the side of that.
Yeah, right. So this is the catalytic converter for the Cruze.
Does that thing talk?
The O2 sensor goes here. This is the upper mount. There's a band clamp. The lower
Yes.
mount is 3 studs. This should be a pretty easy one to change.
One time at band clamp.
Yeah. So this is the converter I chose to buy.
Did you just say that should be easy to change?
You heard that, huh?
Oh my gosh. You got more guts than brains, young man.
You're right. I always have been that problematic. So, but that was the thing. I was debating: do I do this at the shop or do it at home? And do it at the shop, basically, to use the lift, because you need to get underneath for some of this stuff.
Right.
And then when I saw it, and then I pulled up a diagram, I said, "Oh, well, the top part where that goes into the turbo has a band clamp." And it's very accessible. So I grabbed a 13 millimeter socket on my battery powered ratchet, which I want to talk about. Remember battery stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see if that would come off. And it did. It loosened and came. I'm like, great.
Wow.
Then I saw that the bottom is it's a flange with 3 big studs. They're like 8 millimeter studs. I said, you know what? I don't think they're going to be a problem either, really. They're not small. They're not dainty. They're not, other exhaust things that I've done on cars. You look at them and say, "Oh, that's it." Just break it to replace it.
Get the blue flame wrench out and
pop
it off.
You know what? About a week ago, I was at the shop and I brought my inductor back to the house.
Nice.
Just in case. I don't think I'm going to need it. So
what?
I think this is going to be fairly easy. So we're going to hopefully knock on.
You better start knocking on something.
Yeah. So that was my choice. Now I went with a 50 state compliant. And one of the things I'm going to do is once I put it in, I do know that I'm going to go right back into mode 6, because depending on how that cat is built is going to depend if it's compliant with the parameter of mode 6 or not.
But you're not going to have to find that out until it's actually installed.
Of course, obviously.
So don't break the old one.
No, that's what I said. I have to install it. And then I have to do a drive cycle, get it heated, do a drive cycle.
Right.
Look, make sure the monitor is set. That'll be the first thing. If the monitor is set, whoop, that's the first check mark. Then I'll go into mode 6. Well, actually, if the monitor is set and the light is out, who cares, right? But no, then I'm going to go into mode 6.
Mode 6, we'll leave the light on for you.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. And I'm going to be staying there. Very good. Very good.
Sorry, I had to swing at that one.
That's good. You just gave me the topic for the title for this week's show. Thank you. You haven't done that in a while, so I'm writing.
What was that guy's name again?
Tom Bodette.
Tom Bodette. And it's mode 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
He is as enigmatic as I watched a video this week about car. It was a video about car videos and people who have done car videos, and it was claimed, and I do not disagree, the pre-ultimate name, bar none, of anybody who ever did any car reviews, the best guy, Chris Economaki. And
Chris Economaki.
We've talked about him on this show, and they showed him throwing Toronados around the course and Rivieras with the wheels tucked under in the car and sliding the back end. I mean, there was 51 Rivieras I'm talking about.
Yeah, there was another guy, an older guy, round shape. His name was Tom McCahill.
I'm not familiar with him.
Uncle Tom McCahill.
Okay.
And he used to do auto reviews. He was one of the first automotive reviewer back in the late 40s, early 50s. He said the best car to buy, and it was the car he owned, was a Chrysler Imperial.
Okay.
From that mid to late 50s.
Talk about
biased. I'm sorry?
Talk about being biased.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, he was.
Just a little bit.
He was. But he had he had that description, like the doors closed like a bank vault.
Yeah.
The car handled like a drunken goose. He had that sort of description,
And where
which
was he?
Mechanics Illustrated
Okay,
was
so
his.
you read his reviews.
Yes. Oh yeah. I was a fan at the
Put him up
time.
against Joe Oldham any day.
Oh, he was. Yeah, I'm sure Oldham knew.
Uh,
I'm sure Oldham knew. All of the car reviewer guys know Uncle Tom. They know him.
I know a few
So
Uncle Toms myself. I'll tell you something. My buddy Bob Jones from the Oldsmobile Club, I saw him this week, and he gave me a couple. We traded magazines. He gave me a couple of newer magazines that had stuff,
right.
GTO stuff in it, and I gave him some Cars magazines from the '60s because
I hope you took the pubic hair out of him.
there was no, they were cute. They were cool.
Oh, okay, good.
So in the magazines he gave me, they were hot rods. Now I talked about this years ago. I had a subscription to Hot Rod and Carcraft, and then when they stopped their print stuff in the middle of the subscription, they just
Yeah, which of course they
well,
would.
we'll let you finish out your subscription to Boys Life or Nun's World. Like, yeah, thanks. You know what? No, send me a check, you jerks. Then about a year or so,
He's still waiting for that check, I'm sure.
they had some pushback on that, and I got a letter from both of those publications saying, "Hey, would you like to re up a subscription?" And I said, "Screw you." I said,
Yeah.
"I mean, I don't want you now." Well, apparently they did make print magazines a lot thinner because the ones
Really?
Bob gave me are late model. They're like a few years old. And in one of them, I just thought, I opened it up. I went right for the masthead. I want to see who was writing. And
Yeah.
there was a lot of print in there. They actually had Joe Oldham's name in there as a writer. So they must be culling stuff or using old. But I don't know that Joe ever wrote for Hot Rod. Maybe it was through Peterson Publications. I don't know how they got his name in there. I haven't looked through them yet to see if I see any Joe references, but I'm
Right.
very curious about that.
That is, unless they're, like you say, they're reusing some of Joe's old articles.
But he didn't write for, like I said, he didn't write for Hot Rod.
Yeah, that is weird that they put his name. Unless is there another Joe Oldham that happens to be a writer of
There's a Scott.
automotive literature?
Joe's son Scott is in the media, but I don't. But he's Scott, not Joe. So
Scott,
I'll let Joe.
right.
I'll find out and let you know. So, there was something that I noticed a trend of now, and we talk about this all the time. Obviously, it's battery powered tools or electric tools. To me, an electric tool is something you plug in. I don't know these. And,
Sure.
and I have them. I have battery powered ratchets, and I have impact guns and the whole bit. And I noticed just yesterday I was I finally got a replacement thermostat I've been waiting for my Pontiac.
Oh.
And I dropped it in. I had to put the thermostat housing on. And I did not go for my battery powered ratchet. I went for a mechanical ratchet to have some feel on and even though those are 5/16 18 bolts, it's a good size bolt.
Yeah,
I just wanted to have a hand feel on that. And I know
I agree.
I watch a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of different channels of guys working on stuff and doing things. And they're all using battery powered stuff, of course.
Right.
And everybody, that's the go-to now. If a guy needs a ratchet for something, he's going for that battery-powered ratchet, no matter what he's doing. And there's just certain things where I say, no, I still want to have that hand feel.
I think you're right.
I think there's going to be more problems, hardware-related problems from these guys. And, Brian would maybe have some insight on this. Matco Man Brian, because, of course, he sells the tools, and he's in the shops every day. So
But by the way, Mackelman Brian did text us at 203-670-4127. And basically he said, just missing Old Bay.
Yeah.
And you have the perfect set. And I don't know if you could see
There you
that.
go.
There's
Yeah, Old Bay.
Old Bay.
Oh,
There's
he's got the real stuff. Yeah, he's got the
he's
real.
got he's got the kosher salt.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey!
Oh, that's Morton then. That's Morton's kosher salt. Yeah.
Right.
Very good, Brian. Very good. Hey,
So,
listen,
yeah.
go to Etsy and well, you know what? I on the Instagram post I made last week, I had links to Don's sites. I had he's got an Instagram site and he has an Etsy store. I put the link in. Go to Motormouth. Go to real_Motormouth Radio on Instagram. Look at the post from just a couple days ago, and you'll have a link right to Don's Etsy site. I'll put it up again. He has a ton of stuff. I mean, I mean, pictures of houses and buildings and swamps, and I mean, you name it. He runs
That's
the
cool.
gamut with his artwork, which is very, very. It's interesting to me.
No, it is. That's
So,
very cool. I enjoy it as well. I like that sort of. I can't call it Warhol-esque because it's not,
yeah,
but
no.
it is. I like I like his version better than a Warhol version of like a
It,
Campbell soup can.
it reminds me very much so of when artists do like oil, that impressionistic oil painting.
Hmm.
I'll show you what I mean because I actually have a folder in my phone.
Look at this Motormouth Radio discussing culture,
Oh yeah,
art and leisure here at Motormouth Radio.
yeah,
That's right.
they'll do like
Here
it's
at the Antiques Roadshow.
all pastel colors, and it's like
Ah, how nice.
so it's all pastel oils, but it's usually like a little blurry
A,
sometimes, or
yes, a vellum over the whole, like some sort of filter to
like
give it a
like this
blur, a
this one's
smoky look.
a woman with an umbrella, but you can see like it's
Uh,
almost like you're looking through a rain-soaked lens.
right.
I mean, that's kind of
Yes,
nice. That's very 60s, if you see-
very true. Yeah. So get on YouTube and watch the show.
yeah, you'll see all this cool artwork, and then
All
if you
this
like,
stuff.
contact me and I can send you the stuff. I got a whole folder full of it. So, because being, I wouldn't say I'm an art aficionado. Like music, I am a I I
And
like it. I'm a lover. I kind of
no, you can call yourself an art aficionado because you know what you like.
well that just
I
means
always say art aficionados know what they like.
well okay.
And it's the truth. And there's one individual, just a little side note. Dennis Hopper, the
Oh, yeah.
actor, was an
Scotty
avid,
Kilmer.
huh?
Scotty Kilmer.
Right. Right. Dennis Hopper was a art collector, and someone asked him that question: "What kind of art do you like?" He says, "I like what I like."
Of
And
course.
if you looked at the walls of his house, they were all different art pieces. There wasn't anything, there were no two that were the same. He
Okay.
didn't favor one artist from another. If he liked it, he bought it. And
Right.
that was the end of that.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I don't have any preference. If it appeals to me, I dig it.
Right. Some people are collectors where they collect one, certain genres or certain.
Right.
But same thing with cars. We do the same thing with cars and car parts and all that stuff. We're all very typical like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, the battery stuff. I'm curious to see if as we progress, and these tools have now certainly progressed because they're everywhere. If there's going to be more hardware issues, more breakage issues.
I think so.
So basically, a tool that is employed to make a job faster and easier now may make that job longer and harder
Right.
because there's going to be things that have to be fixed that didn't have to be fixed if there was some restraint used with a hand tool.
Hmm.
I mean, I know
Right.
Joe D, even years ago, he was using a 1/4 inch battery powered ratchet. And a lot of guys still do that for all of his dashboard stuff to pull dashes, which is, again, not bad. I'm not saying anything is bad or good. I'm just saying it's how you do it. He
Right.
certainly knew how to do it. But those little
Mhm.
screws, of course, you start, I mean, taking them out is one thing. Running them back in, though.
Ugh.
I'll give you like another example. I had to hang a shelf for my daughter with some hidden hardware, and I didn't like the way it was hanging. And I thought maybe it's the screws. I said, you know what I want to do? I want to just literally drill through the arms of this shelf, and I want to mount straight through with
Right.
a number 10 screw. So that's pretty honking. So I used my battery powered driver to
Hmm.
drive it into a point, and then I took a regular screwdriver and I went the rest of the way and I adjusted it with the regular screwdriver to get that final feel and final fit. And
That's a smart idea.
I
So
think
you use the battery stuff to just handle the repetition.
exactly. So, and I think maybe guys of certain vintage in life, talking about trips around the sun, we grew up without the battery stuff. I grew up without
Right.
air stuff. What did I have? Blow on it. There's an air tool.
Right. That was
You know, we,
huffing and puffing as you.
yeah, yeah. I think of some of the things I did with ratchets growing up. I'm like, oh my God, that was, well, torture. But
Hmm.
so now I think like, guys like us who came up that way appreciate the hand feel And like you've talked about torque and how you have that calibrated arm with the torque, which we still disagree about. But I do agree in theory that you do know what's safe and what's too much when you feel
Of
it
course.
by hand. Whereas with
Of
that
course.
tool, I mean, I've proved that to people. I've taken the battery, a battery or an impact tool on low and ran a lug nut in. I told you I did that with my son-in-law last time in June down in North Carolina,
Hmm.
and I said that probably doesn't sound. He was asking me again about torque, and he doesn't understand. So I said, yeah, there's a torque spec, and it's there for a reason. So I ran I ran a couple lugs on. Actually, I said that doesn't sound like too tight. Then I talked to him. I said these wheels are only torqued to I think 65 foot-pounds on the RAV4.
Right.
I said, and he watched me with the torque wrench. So I'm using my big half-inch drive torque wrench. So I only went like 20 degrees and click. And I said, doesn't feel so bad, does it? And he says, no. So I said, you know what? I put the socket on a what do you call it? On a ratchet. I
Right.
said, try and loosen it. And he was like, "Ugh," and he couldn't. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot more force there than you realize because I used a 2.5 foot lever bar.
Yeah.
And I showed that's the torque. I said, so when the guy in the shop goes "Ugga, dugga, 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 dugga," on all of them, how tight do you
Right.
think they are?
Oh my
I
gosh.
said, those are the ones you're not getting off on the side of the road in the rain at night in the mud puddle with the trucks passing you.
Right. But the insurance companies want you, the insurance companies that insure those shops want you to put that wheel on that way. So they know the wheel's never going to come off and they don't really care about how you feel on the side of the road.
I don't know about the insurance companies, but no, but that's why, I've always been a proponent of, hey, check your wheels, don't trust the shop. And I had it out with one of the local shop guys years ago because he says, no, put your tools and your stuff away. He goes, we use these torque sticks and I buy them from Snap-on guys, so they're the best. I was like, okay. And we put the wheels on my car with the torque sticks. And I said, all right, thank you. I went home, I checked them, all too tight.
All of them.
And then I found an article when Motor was putting out a monthly magazine. I subscribed to it, and they said the myth behind torque sticks. I'm like, wow, you got my attention. And I learned because I was confused why it didn't work. The
Right.
torque stick, the gun, the air, and at the time everybody was still using air. The air rating should be on or about what the stick is rated for. So if the gun's got 150
Oh,
pounds at it, the torque
right.
stick is only 65. Even though that torque stick kind of like releases, it can still over tighten. And I saw it happen firsthand. So you
Hmm.
can't, and the theory was, and I believed it too, you could put any force on the torque stick, it'll self regulate. It does not. It does to a degree, but then it can still go over.
And that's still
So,
right because it can't fight the torque of the gun.
so if you use the torque stick, say on a breaker bar, now you've kind of made your own version of a torque wrench
Right.
that would click because the torque stick would let go and you'd feel it in the breaker bar. So, there's that fallacy. Send your hate letters to send them. You know what? Don't send them to Chris. Send them to me. I'll talk to you about it. And I wish I had that article. I do not anymore, but I wish I had it for proof. But so people blame the torque sticks and they think that the more expensive, like tools, I think the more expensive ones are the better ones, and that's not always the case.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that.
I know. Well, there's different reasons, and
Well, Joe the Undertaker, a regular texter at 203-670-4127, said, powered ratchets risk what happened to me a few times. He says, mechanics putting lug nuts on and cross-threading them. And he says, always keep a handle extension that fits in the trunk for those times that you have a hard time getting that lug nut off on the side of the road. He's absolutely right about that. A pipe extension will do you a world of good as long as you use it correctly.
and
And
people should be more like Joe because he also is a regular commenter on the YouTube site. Thank you, Joe.
yes, thank you,
course.
Joe.
I-
Always a pleasure getting
and
the
and he's right,
comments.
and I had that happen to me once with the Grand Am my wife had. I went to a friend's. It was a Mavis shop that a friend was running, and I dropped the car off. I think I needed tires, 2 tires, and I needed an inspection. And I left it with him. I said, "No, call me. I'll pick it up." And he says, "Okay, your car's ready." I picked. Oh, he called me. He says, "You know what? When we're taking the wheels off, we found you need a wheel bearing. One of the wheel bearings
Oh,
was bad." I said, "All right." I said, "You know what? He goes, I know you do your own work. I said, you know what? You got the car there in the shop. And I always felt bad because he was always giving me deals and breaks and all because we're friends. I said, do the job. I'll give you the job. You got it.
Yeah, exactly.
I get the car home, and it was about a week later. I was walking around the car. I forgot if I was going to wash it or do something. And I noticed that car had those threaded on lug caps like you talked about last week, right?
Right.
It was a Grand Am with the honeycomb wheels. And I noticed one of them was missing. I'm like, oh, I guess they, didn't fall. I had some spares. And when I go to put the spare on, I noticed that one of the lugs, it didn't look right in the wheel. So I went and got my socket and a ratchet, and I couldn't budge it. Well, it was cross-threaded.
Oh.
And a second one was, now I will say this, just as a codicil, I've found with metric lug nuts on many of my own cars that you take the lugs off the wheel and you go to put them back on, and certain lugs don't want to go on certain studs. And I don't know why. You got to find the stud. I don't know why. To me, it seems like the threads are deforming, but I've looked at them and they never look really bad. Well, anyway, I had two.
You're absolutely right.
I had two cross-threaded lug nuts, which meant I had a DEFCON 4 them off with impact tools and torches. And then, of course, those studs were in the new bearing that was put in.
Oh, no.
So
you got to knock them out with a hammer.
I was able to change them. And then I called my buddy the next day and said, listen, I just wanted to, hey, how's it? I said, just want to tell you what happened. I said, right. I know you don't know about this because you wouldn't have been as happy as you were when I paid you. I said, but this is what happened. And he goes, it's it. I'm going to fire this guy. I said, listen, you know what? I said, if the guy's been making infractions, you do what you want to do. I said, I'm not looking to get this guy fired, whoever worked on the car. I said, but I would wish that you would talk to him and tell him, like, you sent the car out with two cross-threaded studs. You knew at least one of them was because it didn't even seat with the wheel.
Oh, wow.
One of them did. One of them didn't. I said, and you sent that car out with a customer who now was going to, the wheel wasn't going to fall off. It couldn't come off. The lug wouldn't move.
No.
I said, but now that car couldn't be serviced on the side of the road at night. If your wife was in the car, if whatever. I said, right. Now he kicked it down the road in a wrong way. I said, that's what I want you to talk to him about. I said, and meanwhile, I spent the day, I fixed it. He goes, oh, come back. I'll give you the money back. I said, listen, no, it's all right. I don't want the money back. I said, water under the bridge. Right. Learning lesson to be learned. I said, but do me a favor and talk to this guy and teach him, like how, first of all, how not to try to cheat the boss and
right.
customers, but how to be a better mechanic and do the job and have some integrity.
Of course. Yeah, very true. I've actually stripped a lug nut myself.
Yeah,
on the Charger. Sure. Like you said, it was a metric thread. I knew it was a metric thread. And I'm sending the bolt, and I was in a rush, of course.
Sure.
And I'm spinning it on. All of a sudden, it stopped. I'm like, oh, no, you got to be kidding me.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what else is not to be kidded about, and that's the bottom of the hour.
Oh, boy.
So let me start by looking at the WHPC weather window, and if I could see a little around the corner, I'd see that I have my convertible today. I'm driving the Fiat. It's topless. It is
nice.
A beautiful day. Your WHPC weather forecast is powered by Pantano's Gourmet with locations in Hewlett and Uniondale. And today, sunny, mixed with a little bit of clouds, high near 70. I felt a little bit of a briskness with the top down, but it felt good. I like that. I like those crisp days. I like it when it gets even colder.
I know, because you're nuts.
I know. Show me your nuts. Tonight, few clouds, low 53. We're getting to that point. I still can't close the pool yet. It's got to be under 65 to really close the pool.
Yeah. Amazing.
Tomorrow, sun with some passing clouds, high of 74. Tuesday, partly cloudy, high 79. I got to find the day to do this catalytic converter. Maybe I'll set it up tomorrow. So I have to ask people out there, are you a proud member of the Nassau Community College alumni? Well, you only would be if you went to this school.
Right. You did. I didn't. You did.
And if you did, like I did.
But I taught enough kids in that school radio, taught enough of them.
You did. So you can find out more information about the Nassau Community College Alumni Association. For that information, please visit ncc.edu/alumni. And with that, we would like to know, do we have an honor group of the hour, Chris?
Of course we do. And this is what we do every week. We honor a group a group of individuals, a group of automotive technophiles that need to be addressed every once in a while. And this week, the Motor Mouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour, if you regularly run your cars on cheap motor oil. Oh, sure, cheap motor oil saves money up front. It's easy to find, and it makes it just fine for older cars that are very underperforming, like going to the store, coming home. But you have basic lubrication, but it wears out faster, offers fewer additives, and may need more frequent changes. While premium oils will cost more, but protect your engine better, last longer, improve efficiency, and help prevent costly repairs. But you don't believe any of that nonsense. All in all, premium oil may give you peace of mind, but if you still do your own oil changes like we do, that cheap oil is all going to come out in 3,000 miles anyway. So be proud to grab a couple of jugs at Walmart, knowing that running on cheap oil will make you part of the Motor Mouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour this week.
And tune into our friend Lake Speed Jr. on YouTube.
Yes,
because he just did he dropped another couple of good videos on oil. Of course, that's what he does. And we're going to get him back on the show and talk about the science of tribology, which is
yes, always love that.
So with that, we'll take our break, and we'll be back with more Motor Mouth Radio in just a few with your host, Ray Guarino, Chris Switzer on 90.3 WHPC.
Have a question about your car or someone else's car? Then give the Motor Mouths a call, 516-572-7440.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar Lifetime Nationwide Warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available at 516-593-0920 or online at celebritychasecollision.com.
You're listening to the Motor Mouth.
Hey, Ray and Chris.
Did you guys read my mind?
Okay, I appreciate you having me on.
Wow, you guys finally figured it out. Motor Mouth. This is great. No more foolishness.
I miss my paisans.
You're a funny guy.
I've been waiting for Sunday just to ask you guys this question.
Our trained staff of 2 will help.
Well, good afternoon, guys. I need a little advice.
All right, so you got me to call in. All right.
I don't know everything. You guys are mechanics.
You guys have a great show. Thank you very much.
I come with a tale of woe and a warning for the younger guys.
Chris is doing jumping jacks. He's getting ready. Ray is right behind me.
Every time I get off the air, I think,
Motor Mouth.
Oh, boy, they're never going to ask me back after that one.
Yeah, this is a collect call. How are you?
Quite frankly, there are better things to do with your time.
Oh, I probably called the wrong number. I was trying to get a hold of Ray.
And I wake up screaming.
So I'm very happy to listen to your good advice.
Yeah, I want to know what the is wrong with my car.
Break it down for us call guys. All right. See you next weekend.
Motor Mouth.
I know you guys usually speak Guido,
right,
and now you're talking Pintel and Yiddish, and this morning I happened to listen to the rabbi on your station. So it's all, I guess today's Yiddish then.
Right.
There are answers, sometimes correct ones, and we may have them.
Motor Mouth Radio, 90.3 FM, WHPC.
Motor Mouth.
Hey, you, get over here. Every Sunday, 12 to 1, you are going to tune in to hear the Motor Mouths, my friends Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. 90.3 FM, WHPC. You might learn something.
Jesus and I are walking down the street. He's wearing his white robe like he always
can wear a white robe.
Little gold cross.
You never know what you can learn in this show. You're back with Motor Mouth Radio. Ray and Chris and Ray, we're here to spend the half of the day with you, at least an hour of it. I don't know. But
funny, we got a quick text from Maco Man Brian at 203-670-4127. He says, why use Loctite when you could just simply cross thread?
Well, you know what? Spoken like a true guy who's seen everything in the shop. Brian knows.
I'm
Right.
sure.
Yeah. It's
Thank you, Brian.
and of course, for the people who don't know, the reason would be because with Loctite you can actually remove the fastener.
Right. With a little grunt, but you could remove it.
Speaking of a little grunt, let's go to the phones and say hi. You're on the Motor Mouths.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Here he is.
Hey.
What's happening, Brian?
How are you?
I don't know, man. You have a load of questions when you start the show off. You have way too much to talk about in just 1 hour.
Well, that's why we do Thursday night. But playing in traffic, it ends up being a whole different dynamic, and because you don't always get to get this stuff out. I don't know. It's I don't know. You know what I mean.
You guys can elaborate.
Start.
Yeah. Well, listen. Since the main topic that I thought with you was, what do you think about my theory with the battery-powered tools and hardware carnage?
Right, precision compromised.
I know that guys, they come out and they say, I want a screw gun. And I'm like, okay, well, here you go. And they're like, no, I need more power. And I'm like, no, you really don't. And of course, they get an impact driver screw gun. So when they tighten the air box up, it blows into a million pieces.
Right.
Or it cracks the dash, or it blows out the grill. So, it's sometimes the simplest things, we create so much more issue.
Yeah, I think that's why I think those tools shouldn't be used unless it's really for just a quick. I mean, and you can even tell with a battery tool, like you could tell with an air tool. You can give it a little zip and not bang it home. Because you have a pressure control and you have that trigger control, and the new guys, I guess, just don't have that. I don't know.
No, and like I said, a lot of guys. It's funny because they'll. I have a lot of. Let's buy this 1/2-inch impact electric, battery power 1/2-inch impact. Oh, and by the way, I want an air impact. And I'm like, well, why do you want both? Well, I take one off with the electric, but I put it back on with the air.
See, I would do it the opposite way.
What?
And I would say, why? And they say,
why?
I want to make sure it gets tight.
I do it the opposite. I take it off with the pneumatic and put it on with the electric. But I've had all the guys in the shop, many of the guys I've worked with always, at one point or another, have always come over to me and said, gee, you have all these tools, but why do you break the lug nuts loose with a breaker bar? Why do you do it by hand? I said, it's just habit. And I want to feel if there's a problem with any of those lug nuts. And it's really just like a 10-degree, that's all it takes to break it loose. Then I'll take the gun and zip, 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 and zip them off. And the same thing.
And, your torque sticks. Oh,
yeah.
Torque sticks are like the worst thing ever.
Thank you.
Because, I got guys that break them because it's like a torsion bar. I mean, the metal's sprung.
Right.
So they use it to take a lug nut off.
Oh, no. Yeah.
He goes, I want to check the torque on this. And I said, okay, you're going to check the torque on this. And he grabs a torque stick and he takes it off. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah,
that's all you're doing is ruining the tool.
You want to check the torque going the other way. You want to see, you've got to put a wrench on and see how much it's going to take to make that wrench click. Right. That's how I do it. So.
Yeah, I don't think this wheel is tight. Let me check the torque. And I'm like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, obviously, like I said, guys like you, tool guys, see it all. You see it every day in the shops, and that's, I don't know. I love getting the information because it fills in the metric, I guess, for me. But
yeah, well, like I said, there's a right tool for the, there's always a right tool for the right job. And, some guys, and I understand because of a budget, they try to find something that will fit the parameters of most, but sometimes it's a little scary.
Yeah.
In what they're doing.
Without a doubt.
No, I totally agree. And of course, they're talking about time too. The time it takes to pull those bolts off by hand compared to an impact tool that can remove them quicker. So you get the job done quicker, so you can get more jobs in and out of the shop, that sort of thing. So that's of course why. In theory.
Until they break everything.
Right. Right. Like you say, until it's shattering the air filter boxes.
Speaking about tool guys, Brian, there's something that I saw this week. I'll be in touch with him. Our friend Clay from Kuhn Trucking down in Alabama, Mississippi.
Mhm.
No, Mississippi.
Yeah.
He was on. He does a video on the Matco truck and on the Snap-on truck every week. He used to do Mac, but now the man ain't coming anymore, so he doesn't do Mac. So he was on the Snap-on truck and he was showing some of the new stuff and some lights and whatever. And they had a spring punch set that Snap-on guy Kevin was showing him. Oh, look, we got this. It's a new thing. I heard it. I heard the synapse snap in Clay's head. He's like, wait a minute. I know what this is. He did a video on these things probably 3 or 4 years ago. They're made by another manufacturer. And Clay took it and showed how they work. It's a big spring. You pull it, you drop it, and really went off. And the Snap-on guy, in my estimation, kind of stood back, was like, oh, what's this guy? He's like really upscaling me here. He knows more about, I just thought it was kind of a cool thing. This guy knows in depth what it was. Mm-hmm. I left that in a comment to Clay and said, hey, you know what? It's great when you know more than the tool guy.
Yeah, that that spring center punch, it's been around for a really long time.
Yes.
I mean, that was I can't even tell you how long, because we had a run through those a while back ago.
Right.
And, like I said, but, the only thing that drives me crazy, and we had to watch what we're going into, but they say, hey, we got a new tool. They mean they have a new color. Not the new tool. It's just a new color.
Right. Well, the interesting thing is Clay had mentioned on the video, now he's a rep for Vim Tools. And, Vim is a brand that's been around for a while. They're out of Florida. And we're going to talk this week. He's, some of the stuff they make, it looks good to me. I don't have any of their stuff, but, it looks good and it's on tool.
You probably, actually, Ray, you probably do, because Vim makes a lot of stuff for a lot of different people.
I know.
And some people that have big names on the side of the trucks.
Actually, he showed a 3-piece, I call it the dinosaur. It's like it looks like a water pump plier with an overbite. And there's a 3-piece set. I think I asked you for those a while ago, but you didn't have them. And it's great. Like even Clay said, he says, this isn't relegated to automotive. He goes, if you do plumbing work, this is like a pipe wrench. You could take pipes off with this and whatever. And it's, as long as it grips, it's going to get it off. I was like, yeah, there you go. That's, I know I've seen those branded from other tool companies, like you say. So
yeah, a lot of them. Of course, you got a lot of your really big name brand tool manufacturers. Once the patent runs out, then everybody's making the same thing.
That's it, right?
That's another big thing. Also, it's
right.
It's that tick
in different colors
in the political world and different colors.
And
I love women.
And I tell you too, it's really not a bad thing. I mean, everybody looks at it like a bad thing. And listen, when I first learned about this stuff, I was shocked too. Boy, I thought that the tool companies were all individual and everybody had their own special sauce stuff. And to some degree, you could see the difference in the tools. And then you start seeing similarities and saying, really, this looks kind of. And now there's just blatant knockoffs, and it's not even a knockoff. Like you said, the patent ran out. Somebody else is using that design. That's business. That's how it works.
Yeah. And like I said, in the early 2000s, a lot of your small companies were bought up by the big guys.
Yeah.
And, they took what they liked from them and then they trashed. That's why we run into this problem now. Guys have an older tool. It breaks. You're saying, sorry, dude, it's deleted or obsolete, or I can't find one, because, like I said, the person was bought out and they've changed.
That's exactly what happened with my Mac ratcheting wrench and my Mac ratchet. I got bit twice by Mac. Man ain't chomping. Oh, he was chomping, boy. He chomped my butt twice. Right.
I know, Ray, and we'll have to talk about that on Thursday night, because after hours.
Yeah.
When before I get myself in trouble,
right.
But
we're careful.
At least when something like that happens, when we upgrade, you actually get a better tool or a more expensive tool.
Yeah.
We had the same problem with some wrenches. And of course, you got that one guy. Now my whole set doesn't match, and I say, well, just break all the other ones and bring it back.
Right.
That's
one way of doing it.
My set doesn't match. You've got to be kidding me.
No, Chris. Well, no, that's where I was. I have this rail of double-ended ratcheting wrenches. They have a 15-degree offset, and they fit in the rail. Max sent me. I showed you on the show. I brought it in a couple weeks ago. A Lang ratchet wrench that won't fit. I'm like, no, dude. I want the one that because they were like, this one happened to be maybe 8.
And it's like 3/4 of an inch thick too.
Yeah,
and it has like 9 teeth instead of 88 or whatever.
I'd have to
You get a grinding wheel. You cut a bigger track in that tray, and you drop the wrench in there.
Exactly. So I'm not having. I said, no. You know what? I kept the Mac wrench in there. I keep dropping some Trizoil in it to try and work it loose. And you know what? I don't use it that much that it's going to be a game changer. But if it was, it'd be an issue. So. All right, Brian. Listen, I got a new article that's going to be coming your way. I'm finishing reading it today. A guy, this is back in the '60s in Cars magazine. God bless Marty Shore. The guy made a dual overhead cam 289.
Oh wow!
Oh
now,
yeah.
There was one that was used in racing that was a super high dollar high zoot motor. This guy did it in his own machine shop with cam boxes, and it works. And he said it was impressive as hell. So that's one of the articles you'll be getting on. I think it was a 5 or 6 Mustang that he put.
Well, that's good. No problem. I'll have to fire up the grill, get some nanny bows out, and eat some crabs, and we'll start drilling holes in the block.
Actually,
sounds like a plan.
You didn't even have to. This cam box mounts on the original rocker arm studs.
Really?
I was wondering how he mounted, and they finally showed. I wonder how the gasket's sealed though, because I don't know. It's interesting though, but yeah, you'll get that in the package. So
that'd be awesome.
All right.
Well,
Thanks,
guys,
Brian.
I'll let you guys get back, and it was always good talking to y'all. Stay out of trouble, and don't cross thread those bolts.
You got it, Brian. Thanks.
Thanks, Brian.
Take care, guys.
Right, so
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Chris, I want to tell you and everybody else about something that's coming up. My friend Jeff sent me this. It's the Model Car Challenge. It happens every year. This is November 8th at the Freeport Rec Center.
Oh, cool.
It's November, so it's a ways off. This is their
right.
Jeff is always
yeah, he's a model car builder, isn't he?
Yeah, and he always has his stuff there. He's always on track. Let's go back to this thing here. Let's go back to the phones and say hi, caller. You're on with the Motor Mouths.
Hey, Ray. Hey, Chris. How are you?
Hey, Johnny. What's up?
What's up, John?
I love the crossed lug nuts thing. I don't know if I told you the other day. My wife went out. She comes back with she's got a Ford Escape. It's got 30,000 miles on it. It's 2016. Hardly gets used.
Right.
And she comes back and she goes, the tire light's on.
Uh-huh.
I said, okay. And, God bless Ford for what the thing cost. It just tells you there's a tire low. So you got to go out and check all of them.
Right.
My vet tells me, and that's 10 years older, which tire is low. But so, of course, I said, I find the one, I go, wow, it's down 5 PSI. That's a lot.
That's about the parameter. Yeah, that's about the threshold.
And I go, yeah, I could just fill it and wait a couple weeks till she comes and goes, yep, tire light's back on. And I said, I'm going to take the wheel off and just spray it down, see if I can find something in it and plug it.
Okay.
Did you? Or you haven't done that yet?
Well, I attempted to. I got 4 out of the 5 lug nuts off, and then I got to the 5th one, which was all swollen with that stupid chrome cap.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah,
oh, no.
They sell half-size sockets for that.
Yep. A buddy of mine told me about them a while ago.
19 and a half, 21 and a half. Yep.
Yeah, 19 and a half.
Yep.
And I'm like, so I'm trying the next size up, and I go, yeah, that's just going to round it off.
Yeah.
Before I get myself in over my head, I call him up, and he goes, yeah, I'm off today. I'll stop by the shop, grab and of course I get the whole wheel off, spray it down, can't find a leak. But, yeah, whoever thought of those lovely chrome over hot metal.
I'll tell you what, Jeeps use them too, and probably some other manufacturers. What I tell people to do is go out to the parts store and buy the replacement from Dorman, the replacement either black or chrome, Acorn
Oh, yeah, no, I bought the solid ones. I went to AutoZone, and they had white nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I said to the guy, I go, give me 4 sets of them.
Right, that's all you got to do. Yeah, I recommend.
I was thinking, like you said, you can't repair side of road. And before, or after my lug nut, the socket wouldn't fit on the lug.
Right.
I went into the hatch, grabbed the factory OEM, wrench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wouldn't fit on either. So you're screwed.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, well, you learned a lesson, but that's good. You found out in the driveway instead of out on the road sometime.
By the way, Dodge Rams have them. My Ram does, so that's going to be the next time I hit parade to make an investment.
No, good idea, John.
Well, when you were saying talking too much, I loaned my compressor and my impact gun to the guy across the street from me who was doing brakes on a Dodge Ram, and he had it on. Oh my God, torque.
Yeah.
Yeah. He ended up buying 20 new lug nuts.
Sure.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's the way it goes. Yeah.
Tore them all apart. That's a shame.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you were able to find the right cover for your nuts, John. That's good.
Yeah.
Right.
No, the other thing that most people don't tell you, you can over torque them, but there's also go till it stops, and then you can use the tell and just go a notch more. Watch the socket and don't crank it.
True. Yeah. Kenny Westall, a good friend Retro Kenny, talks about that all the time, over tightening. So when I was putting I put the thermostat back in my car and I was putting hoses on, I used my battery powered ratchet with a 5/16 socket or number 8, and I ran the hose clamp down just till it's seated. And then when I started the car to check it, I did see some coolant leaks, and I had to just tighten up 2 of the clamps a little more. But that's the way to do it. So
yeah, totally agree.
Was the guy that came over with the half-size sockets. He's got the same half-inch impact Makita that I do.
Yeah.
And he says to me, he goes, yeah, that's I use it all the time in the shop. On low, it goes to this many foot-pounds.
Right.
And he goes, you're good.
Right. All right, John. Well, thanks for that info, and keep the greasy side down this week.
I missed the beginning of the show. How was the movie?
I didn't talk about the movie. It was excellent. Go see it. I highly recommend it. Go see Spinal Tap 2. You'll love it. Yeah. Check out the show on YouTube. You'll see it later on this afternoon about 3 o'clock.
You got it, my friend.
All
Guys,
right.
have a great day, and it is a topless day.
It is. You got it.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks.
Later.
John. Bye.
Take care, John.
Chris, with that, I just wanted to end with one more failure for the week that maybe.
Go ahead.
Yesterday I said put the thermostat in my car, got to put the coolant back in it, started it, and I wanted to check the actuation of this new electric fan that I put in with the PWM controller.
Finally.
$1,000 worth of hardware in the car.
Wow.
Didn't come on. Motor went up to like 198 degrees, didn't come on. So now I have to troubleshoot and see, is it the controller that's bad? Is it the actual fan itself that's bad?
Oh my God. How frustrating is that? All of that work you've been 1,000 hours and $1,000.
Well,
and it's
you know what? It was spread over time. I couldn't do the whole job at once. I was doing other things. So I did little bits here and there. And something somewhere is not working, and I have to find out what it is now. So hopefully next week, I'll be able to report on what it is, and I'll be blowing air all over the engine. And hopefully that'll be the end of that. So otherwise, I obviously can't drive the car until that's fixed. So.
Right, exactly. So, but it has an interior, I'm assuming. It's the interior. You can't drive it anyway. You'll be driving on a soapbox.
I still have to put the console and seats in. I haven't got back to that.
I haven't done that yet.
I've been busy. I've been doing other stuff. I've been working in the apartment still. I've been doing, working up there and family stuff. There's always something. Now I got to do the catalytic converter on the Cruze, and I got to get that done this week because my daughter and son-in-law, they're coming up from the Carolinas, and they're going to want to use that car. Plus, I have to get it inspected. I have a week and a half to get it inspected, so I have to get that cat in this week. So, yeah.
Good luck to you. Good luck to that job. I hope. Where are you doing it? On the lift or on the ground?
I'll probably do it on my lifts that I have at my house because I need the car cool. If I bring it to the shop, I have to wait for it to cool.
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
So that being the case, what do we tell the people waiting for me out in the parking lot?
Don't follow us home, and make sure you have a good cover for your nuts.
You got it. With that in mind, Chris Switzer, Ray Guarino, Motormouth Radio signing off. We'll see you next week on 90.3 WHPC.
See you, bud.
Bye.